Welcome to another session of construction management. In this session, we are going to discuss about planning and contracting. So, what is planning? So, planning is mainly done for two criteria, that is for manpower and material. However, manpower is planned in the sense. So, the main planning of a manpower concentrates on calculating the size of workforce, planning the deployment manpower, and splitting the functional teams. So, it will be actually building the productivity standards of by effectively planning the manpower. Then how to plan a material. The material planning involves the calculation of the required quantities of the material for finishing of a project. It involves in determining the required materials. It also involves in specification of forecasting material requirements. So after the planning, let us go to the topic of what are the advantages of a construction project. There are various advantages of scheduling a construction project. Coming to the first advantage, will be generating the knowledge of the details and fewer surprises well into the project by the need to pre-plan the project. It maximizes the quality control measures by properly sequencing the work. It improves planning of resources such as labor and equipment. Effective scheduling enhances coordination efforts between client and construction operations. It also identifies the buying out of materials and critical elements with enough lead time. By submitting the shop drawings and samples and data sheets in timely fashions, one can uh, effective plan a project to finish it off in a stipulated time. The other advantages of scheduling in a construction project management are it gives the affected parties such as the subs, vendors, designers, and client time to better plan their own activities. It improves the safety performance by sequencing the activities to ensure maximum protection for workers. So these are the various advantages of scheduling of a construction project management. So after scheduling, how the actual project management is scheduled, how the planning is done in the sense there is a technique called as work breakdown structure. This is a project management technique which divides the project work into various smaller manageable parts. So this by finishing off these smaller parts which are divided into small segments, one can finish off the project in a efficient time and the plan exact estimated time. So the work breakdown structure, it will be describing the mission related family tree of activities and arrangements. It defines shows the total work graphically that has to be carried out in order to maintain the final goals of the project. So what is the main methodology involved in work breakdown structure is, in this work methodology involved is the project is broken down into various levels and it is arranged in a particular order. That order might be in ascending order or descending order, or the levels are arranged in a triangular format in the form of a prism. So once the project the work levels are organized in an order, the relation between the levels will be like a project, a sub project, work packages, activities, tasks, and all these things will be developed. So these levels will be in such a way that the work will be getting exchanged between the level to level. Here is a small example through which one can effectively explain the work breakdown structure is. So here in this example we are explaining the work breakdown structure for construction of a house, how the work breakdown structure is implemented in the sense. Here the work is mainly divided into three different parts: internal, foundation, and external levels. In the each level there will be sub project levels like electrician work, rough in electrical, etc. Coming to the foundation, excavation work, pouring the concrete, reinforcement, And coming to the external works like a masonry, lay masonry works, all these things. So in this work breakdown structure, for each and every level, the level one will be containing of deliverables, which is the work will be done in 100%. So at each level one can estimate the percentage of work done, and the fine along with the percentage of work done, one can easily access the budget, how much finance has been allotted and how much has been utilized, how much finance has been utilized to get the work finished off. So this is a small example of how a work breakdown structure will be implemented for a construction project management. So for till date we were discussing about planning, what are the advantages of scheduling, methods of planning, and what are the techniques used for planning. So for all these things, one has to even know how to what about the contracting. For doing these works, one has to get a contract for doing the work, or one has to know how to generate a contracts. So here our next topic is about contracting. So the work, contract, the word contract is defined as it is an arrangement made between two or more it is an agreement made between two or more parties that creates legal binding obligations between them. The contract will be setting out the obligations and the actions that can be taken if they are not met. So this is an agreement that will be made between two or more parties for getting a project work to be finished. Next, coming to the classification of projects. A project is basically classified on three categories or three criterias. How the contract has been formed, by the performance, and by execution, how the work has been executed. Based on these three criterias, the contracts are classified into many types. So the various types of contracts we have here is item rate contract, percentage rate contract, lump sum contract, labor contract, material supply contract, cost plus percentage rate of contract. So each type of contract will be varying according to its functionality, its conditions of that are kept between two parties. So all these types of contracts will be discussed in the very next section. Thank you.